Today we will talk on risk of contractor and employer in EPC contracts. We know that EPC means engineering, procurement and construction. In conventional type of contracts, we have been using item rate tender document or percentage rate tender document, but nowadays EPC is also becoming common, where engineering is done by the contractor. And we know that in any construction project, engineering is the center of the contract, because this engineering is implemented at the site in terms of the project. Basic difference between item rate or percentage rate contract and the EPC contract was said to be, as we discuss, engineering. But in addition to this, why this has been popular is shifting of responsibility of coordination of the employer to the contractor. So basically, the risk of the employer towards coordination has been shifted to the contractor. Then again, there was the risk of designing issue of drawings timely, and of the architects, structural designers or HVAC designers or whatever required. That risk has also been shifted to EPC contractor, wherever all the works is given to EPC contractor. Third, we know that there was a problem of delay due to other contractors working at site. Therefore, once the work is taken up in EPC contract in totality, then this risk has also been shifted to the contractor. And basically, this is called single point responsibility of the EPC contractor in case of EPC contracts. Now, there may be non-performance of subcontractors. Therefore, the responsibility, as in case of EPC contract, is with main contractor. The risk of not doing or not performing by the non-performance by the subcontractor is also with the main EPC contractor. Now, EPC contract is also said to be fixed cost contract. Means there is no escalation clause in this type of contracts. That doesn't mean that escalation is not built in, because the contractor will build in the escalation whatever he is assessed during the currency of the contract. But in case suppose there is a delay due to anything, and delay is not on the part of the employer, therefore risk of delay is also with the main contractor. So the risk of the escalation not being paid is also with the contractor, as that is not payable in case of EPC contracts. Now, engineering has been done earlier, or architectural engineering or structural or HVAC or whatever it is, by the employer. So the soundness of the design was seen by the employer, and it was approved by the employer. Then drawings issued to the contractor. Now there are two portions. One, that this risk of designing is with the contractor, but the risk of life cycle guarantee is, if not given by the contractor or is not part of the EPC contract, then in some cases it may be that this risk is with the employer in case of EPC contract where the designing is done by the contractor. This is basically because we know that the contractor has to go for economizing the work, and in the economizing means the factor of safety will be utilized to the extent that it is the minimum. So the designing will be on minimum criteria base. And then second risk is of the aesthetics. In case of item rate and percentage rate contracts, the employer was free to choose any aesthetics, whatever architectural features the employer wants. But in case of EPC contract, if everything is to be designed by the contractor, then there is a risk of aesthetics for the employer, until and unless employer gives the preliminary drawing or conceptual drawings, where the particularly aesthetics of the building external facade are included, even if not of interiors. Single point responsibility has advantage, and then the risk is also there for employer. In item rate or percentage rate contracts, what was happening, that if you award works to to few of the contractors by splitting it, then some blocks or some portion of the building may become ready for use at early stage. But in case of EPC contract, this final completion will be in the last, even if it is mentioned in the milestones, and suppose the contractor is not doing, then the employer has only the solution that the action will be taken for liquidated damages in the last. So this is a small risk with the employer. Then we know that EPC contractor is a bigger contractor, and it is not easy that you can get anything done until unless it is explicitly mentioned in the tender document. So risk of not making adequate provisions in EPC contract document or tender document is entirely with the employer. Now there may be that in EPC contracts, architectural preliminary drawing or conceptual drawings are given by the employer, and they are developed for GFC drawings by the contractor, or a turnkey contract is given for entirely to the contractor, or maybe that some other part of drawings is also included in the scope of the employer. Now there may be some materials which the employer has specified, and suppose they are not available in the market at the time of execution, then there is a risk when the contractor has quoted for them, but generally they are available, or there is a provision that the approval of the employer will be necessary in case of change is required. But the derivation of rates or deviations becomes difficult for the employer. Now If you talk about the quality, though we say that quality is nothing to do with the type of contracts, but we must understand that it is not easy to determine or to close PC contract because the rates are not available for the items, and also the measurements are not available at different time, so it becomes a dispute. So if even if somebody not some contractor is not doing a quality work, project management becomes difficult because it is not easy to take decision. So that is the risk to the employer. Now payment terms, we know this is based on stage payments. So the employer has risk because it is to be assessed. Stage payment is to be assessed only. So if overpayment has been done by the employer due to wrong assessment in the tender document, it is entirely risk of the employer. If in brief, if we summarize, then we can say that the contractor has a risk of site assessment also or ground conditions, because we know that the employer normally writes in the EPC contract document that he is to verify the site particulars or ground conditions, even if some data have been given. So in case of EPC contract, this risk is with the contractor. Then cost escalation, as we have discussed, that risk is also with the contractor, particularly if extension of time or delay has occurred. Then there is a design risk because it is to be safe in all the cases, and if the employer insists for some aesthetics or architectural features, then this becomes costly, and then this becomes risk to the EPC contractor. Then is a bigger risk, what we call as approval risk. It means if approval is required from the local bodies, and it may be before commencement of the work, during execution, during progress of the work, say at different stages, say plinth stages or say some floor bases, and at the completion of the project. So this, if approvals are delayed, then this is a bigger risk to the contractor. Then the subcontractors, as we have discussed, if he is not getting good contractors or he is not getting good contractors, then this risk is with EPC contractor. Then there is a completion risk, because if timely completion is not there, then liquidated damages will be levied by the employer. So this risk is also there with the EPC contractor. There is coordination risk between different suppliers, then vendors, then subcontractors, architects, designers, and so on. Then as we discussed, that there may be that earlier materials or products were stipulated by the employer in the tender document, but they are not available. Then there is a risk of delay in approvals and all those things, and even the rates. Then bigger risk is performance risk, because everybody is to perform timely and with the quality. That is main contractors, subcontractors, and associated vendors, engineers, architects, everyone. Then because if there is a delay and there is an extension of time required, then there is a risk of liquidated damages which can be levied by the employer. Normally employer risks are not summarized or not discussed, but I think there are risks of the employer also. Particularly major risk is if there is an inadequacy of contract document, and there is a big risk in EPC contracts, because that is going to be having a lot of financial implications and the delays in the contract and the performance. And then there is a risk of selection of contractor, because here is only one contractor, and therefore selection should be such that the employer gets good contractor and resourceful contractor. Time overrun risk are there, because as the as the work progresses, it is very difficult to determine or sign the contract, and in that case you are to go along with the contractor, because of so many problems we have discussed. So normally this time overrun risk still exists in EPC contracts. Uh, though liquidated damages can be levied, but then that also becomes disputable many times. Project design risk is there, and life cycle guarantee is not there, because we have discussed that they follow minimum design criteria. Litigation risk are more in case of EPC contract, because they are quite resourceful, and project manager or engineer, they are they may not be litigation minded, and they may not um, make correspondence what is required, and therefore this litigation risk is there. And then there must be some clause for project life cycle guarantee, because engineering is done by the EPC contractor, so he should give the guarantee for the project life, um, so that in some way it is to be included in the tender document. Thank you very much. I am KM Soni, retired ADG CPO. Thanks a lot.